One day, Percy was standing at the junction. He had a long goods train which he was taking to Titmuth. But he had to wait for Henry to pass with a passenger train before he could go on. Henry was late, but the sun was warm and Percy didn't mind. At last, Henry arrived. "I'm sorry I'm late," he panted. "I had to wait ages for the connection at the other railway. Do you know that they have goods trains on the other railway that don't have brake fans? It doesn't seem right, does it? You've still got yours, I'm glad to see. Ah, there's a signal. I must try and make a bit up more for last time. Goodbye." And he huffed importantly away. Percy told his driver what Henry had said about brake fans. His driver laughed. "Goods trains on the other railway have special brakes," he explained. "Like passenger trains and Henry's flying kipper. They don't need brake fans. Your trucks have couplings. So you need brakes at each end of the train in case your coupling snaps. You know how stupid trucks are. They did it to James and Gordon's Hill, remember?"
"Pooh," said Percy. "I know how to keep my trucks in order. What's good enough for the other railway is good enough for me. I don't need a stupid brake fan."
"Don't be silly, Percy," said his driver. Percy took no notice, although it would have been better if he had. A few days later, Percy was shunting trucks at the harbor near the big station. He was just completing his train by backing onto the brake van when the shunter got distracted. The shunter thought he had coupled the brake van on the train, but he hadn't. The car blew his whistle, and Percy set off quickly, hoping to get a run off the hill leading to the main line. But the guard and his brake van were left behind. The guard waved and shouted, but Percy didn't hear. He was too busy climbing the hill. All might have been well if Percy didn't start so quickly.
What's good enough for the other railway is good enough for me.
Unfortunately, the jerk had weakened one of the couplings. Then it broke. The last four trucks began to run back down the slope towards the harbor. The guard was standing on the veranda of the brake van and saw the trucks coming. Quickly, he ran to his brake handle and checked that it was fully on. Then he jumped clear. He was just in time. The trucks hit the brake van with a resounding crash. The van shuddered and was pushed down the line, but somehow it stayed on the rails, and the truck's mad rush was halted. Meanwhile, Percy's firemen had noticed that they had lost the tail end of the train. Percy came slowly back down the hill to see what had happened. "Phew," remarked Percy's driver, as they helped to clear the mess. "You see, Percy? Brake fans do have their uses after all." And Percy had to admit that his driver was right.